Hey guys. Okay, so I run into this issue pretty much weekly in my line of work. I do a lot of work with digital marketing and websites and all that jazz. So this question comes up often. If I am asking you to let me know where your domain is hosted, there's domain hosting and there's website hosting. And those are two different things. And it's not something that probably the average bear knows about. So, you should never feel dumb if you don't know the answer to this, because it's not something that everybody knows. There's still a lot of stuff about this that I'm like, that's a little bit over my head. But here's the gist of it. Your domain, your literal website address, www, website.com, is hosted somewhere. That it's your domain name server. So 90% of the time that's going to be like GoDaddy. There are other ones out there like Network Solutions, Bluehost, there's a bunch of things, but GoDaddy is definitely corners the market on this. So if you're looking for that, if somebody is asking you where your domain is hosted, it's always going to be something like a GoDaddy. If somebody is asking you where your website is hosted, so your website actually needs a spot to live. And this is essentially just the service that's keeping your website up. If you have plugins or something like that, or whether it's hard-coded and blah, 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 we don't have to get in all that it's keeping your uptime of your website up so people can go, when they type it in, they go there. The domain behind the scenes, this is actually way nerdier than you'll probably ever need to be, is that domain name server takes out the words of the, www.website.com and turns it into numbers, your IP address. And that's how behind the scenes, the interwebs talk to each other, is I'm really going to the numbers. They don't really care what your actual vanity name is. So anyway, you don't really need to know all that piece of it. You just need to know that there's a domain host and then there's a website host. So services like GoDaddy and stuff also do some website hosting, but typically you need a human being behind the scenes there that's also going in, updating plugins or code or whatever it may be based on your given website and how that it was built to function. Somebody needs to be managing the back end of that, and that is going to be, your website host. Your actual domain, just registering it, when you go buy, I've got a great business idea, I'm going to go buy a domain, that's where your domain lives. So like I say, 90% of the time that's going to be a GoDaddy. If you ever need to know, should you lose it or should you acquire a business or something and you don't know where that domain is living, or you may not have the login, you can do what is, it's called Whois. And you can do a lookup and it'll actually tell you where that domain is registered. So just a quick tip there. They are always two different things, and you're not the only person that doesn't know this information. I seriously run into it every week. Hope this is helpful.